Hi. Hello, everyone. I'll let y'all get in here. Let y'all here. Hello. Please hit the like as y'all come in. Good morning. Good morning. We are here to watch the Tony Buzbee press conference that starts in about 10 minutes here. It should be starting. We're going to be nosy and make sure there's no updates, okay? Since, I'm going to make sure y'all know I'm nosy. We got to know everything while it's happening. Sure do. We sure do. What that word? Oh, that's why. They're like, you're already here. Okay. Okay, so it's not live yet. So it says that press conference is supposed to be happening live from his Instagram. I'm like, ghetto. Tony, are you gonna have all 100 victims like with you, or like what? Why are you doing this on Instagram? Okay, you was supposed to Gloria the situation, get all of the presses of the presses to come to the conference of the conference. Okay, shout out to all y'all. Hi everyone, Sparrow, D Gay. Shout out to Sheila, Coco, Renee, Lynn B, Shrinking Sharon. Yays. So my time, Caitlin. Hi, Caitlin. Hi, Sandra, and just anticipate. K Ben. Hello. Shout out to Sunshine. You sent me a cash up when we were on coffee earlier. Make sure you guys get over the coffee if you're not over there. We have been very active over there on coffee. Hi to West. Shawnee, Monique, Connie, Nicole, Cynthia, NMC. Hello, everyone. Talk that hello. So yeah, we're very active with our mods. So you have a chance if you could drop that coffee link in the chat. So yeah, we were over there and you sent me a cash app. So thank you, Sunshine. Thank you. Welcome everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever it is, wherever you are. My time is Central Time. I'm on Central Time, and it says that it starts at 1 p.m. Central Time. So it starts in 8 minutes my time. Okay. And not public figure. Tony Buzbee, which is attorney that is representing, it went from 50 victims to 100 victims. He will be doing a live press conference here in just a minute here. I don't know if he's about to speak on behalf of 100 people or if some of the people are going to be with him. But you can tell he definitely want all the promotion from it because he's doing it from his IG. That's what it says, live streamed on IG at Tony Buzbee. Okay, the Buzbee law firm. Of course, he is super plugging and pubbing himself again. I'm not knocking him. Hey, it is what it is. Please hit the like. Please hit the like. Please hit the like. We have 90 likes already, 200 and some people in the building. I really appreciate being here. Please double tap that screen if you have not already. Okay, we're on the fast track, getting 500 likes. It's live. Shout out to all the new subscribers. Welcome aboard. We love you all. Yeah, so should be starting any moment. Before we, while we wait, Diddy did have 2 new lawyers. Okay, he still has his lawyer Shapiro. But he has added more, which is, I don't know. I think he's scared. I said before that the lawyer that he currently has is too big for him. Like it's too much for him. Like this case is really big. So you would need, 4, 5 because they're going to be really busy. Like this is way too much work for one person. Okay, he has 100 victims that are about to come forward and coming forward already. He has 11 victims thus far that have come forward, did press conferences and whatnot. Cassie being the biggest, victims of them all. I mean, she endured her for umpteen years. So yeah, this is getting crazy. So Diddy stepped up his legal game by adding top lawyers Anthony Rico, known as one of the best trial attorneys in the country, and his Blake. So I appreciated that. Go on, Anthony Rico. Go on, Anthony Rico. And it says, and Alexandra Shapiro, a top lawyer. Gone, girl. Gone, girl. I don't like you. I don't like Alexandra. I don't like her. I don't know, what's something about hearing. And I really don't like her pictures. And you should really like turn this way. Like, cause but I like the black attorney. And not because he's black. Don't even, it's because he's one of the top in the country. So that means that he coming with he so the prosecution, y'all really gonna have to get this girl. That's all this means. Prosecution, y'all need to have y'all together. Okay? I'm gonna need Cassie prepped real good. Okay. I'm gonna need all of these victims and whatnot to sign affidavits and stuff stating they're gonna be there. And look at here. We got a tough team. we got some strong opponents here. Okay. Now it was easy peasy street when he just had the other one. Name I forgot. But him, the one that keep getting his bails denied, and all of that. Okay, this is a little bit easier for us. Not just about the bar, because they're good. They're good. Tony's good and Alexandra's good. They are good. Okay, so this will be no easy feat. Now we had it in a bag, a little piece at the beginning, but now this is different. This is different. Please hit the like. Please hit the like. Please hit the like. Sean, how would the Diddy case be if they didn't have the tapes? Shorter. I would say that, but other than that, I mean, I really don't feel like the tapes. That they're helpful. They're helpful evidence. But it's getting into like the legalities of it all. So I don't know what's to be used. I don't know what's going to be thrown out. Because a lot of things can get thrown out. Even think about the Cassie tape of her in the hallway with Diddy and Tell. That can be stricken. It can be removed. If his lawyers fight, since that it was been over 10 years, well, about 10 years, since that happened and whatnot. Because I think the statute of limitations was that I like 7 years. I think they said 7 years. I thought it was 10, but it was something like 7 from what I read. So we don't know. What if they get the tapes thrown out too? We don't know what's gonna happen. The tapes could be used. They could be like, "Yep, we're gonna use those as evidence in court," or the judge can be like, "Yeah, no, you can't use that. You gotta throw that out. You got any other evidence? Other than that, we're gonna have to drop that." But so we don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna be all up in it. I know that much. I'm gonna be all up in it. I'm gonna be watching this case very, very, very closely. But yeah, I have no idea of that. I think again, any evidence is helpful in a case, but will you be able to use it? Just because you have like concrete proof on someone when it comes to laws and how the rules of it works. Some lawyers are really like slimy, right? So they will literally use certain cases and certain things against, the defense to get certain things removed. Although we like with the R. Kelly trial, with that tape, it's like that was him. It was him for sure. It's not mistaken his identity or anything like that, but he still got off. So just because he could be being caught red-handed in a lot of these tapes and situations does not mean that he will be held accountable. We won't know until we get there. I hope that it's enough to do what it's to take to do what it needs to do. But if it's just showing consensual, because I think a lot of the tapes are consensual. I'm not going to say every single tape. I think that would be a closed-minded way of thinking, to think that every single tape is like an essay or something like that. No, I think that a lot of them are consensual, and I think what matters are the ones that aren't. So to me, the consensual tapes don't matter, it's showing traits of something else that the prosecution is trying to prove when it comes to his personality or decision making, or him having a temper. Things like, some things, they could use, like if he's really angry or aggressive inside of the tape, they could use that as, well, look how he gets, why would this woman, do ... he goes from 0 to 100 that quickly or something so small. Yeah, who knows how this is going to go? Who knows? But him getting more attorneys, I think that it shows that he's scared. I think that he is realizing that he's lost complete control because he can go broke behind something like this. Hi, HBIC. He can go broke behind this because lawyers are very expensive, and he has a team of lawyers right now. Just because you have a net worth of something does not mean that that is accessible money, right then and there. So a lot of things that Diddy owns is what's his, oh, Lord, he live. Oh, he live, y'all. He live, y'all. Hold on. Hold on. He live. He live. Do I have to refresh? I do, okay. Sorry, I was trying to focus and see what was going on. So they're getting ready. It's a legit press conference. It's legit. It's about to go down. This is crazy. 100 victims. Oh, not no Diddy. Okay. We'll wait till he gets this together. I'll just mute it until he gets it together. So the press conference is starting as we speak. Buzbee press conference. I wonder if he's brought any victims. From what I see, it just looks like a team. Like he just has his team with him, but he's not on camera yet. He got Buzbee everywhere. I know that's right though. I mean, it's your brand. Okay, here he is, y'all. Here he is.
Hello, everyone.
Hey.
My name is Tony Buzbee. I'm a lawyer here in Houston.
We know it's everywhere.
I'm licensed in Texas and in New York. And I'll introduce other members of our team as they speak. As many of you know, our law firm has been at the forefront of some of the most important litigation in the United States. We like the tough cases. We thrive in the complicated cases.
100 of them.
We've handled over the last 25 years some very big and very cases. I believe that this one may surpass them all. There are many facets to this. The conduct we will describe today occurred over more than 20 years. There are many people and many entities involved.
Hold on.
And we're going to follow this evidence wherever it takes us. We will find the silent accomplices. We will expose the enablers who enabled this conduct behind closed doors.
Yes.
We pursue this matter no matter who the evidence implicates. These brave victims who have stepped forward deserve nothing less. The biggest secret in the entertainment industry that really wasn't a secret at all has finally been revealed to the world.
Ooh.
The wall of silence has now been broken, and victims are coming forward. Our team has had at this point more than 3,285 individuals contact us.
3,000.
People claiming to have been victimized by Sean Combs. After vetting, we now represent 120 individuals who intend to bring civil claims in civil court against Sean Diddy Combs, as well as claims against many other individuals and entities that we will name as defendants as we file these individual cases. And you should know, to the extent the clients feel comfortable, we also intend to make these individuals available to the authorities, specifically to the FBI. And you should also know a few of them have already been spoken to by the FBI. Now, before we discuss the nature of the claims and claimants themselves, Let me comment on the large volume of calls we have received since the first announcement. Even before the indictment of Sean Combs, we have received a small volume of calls and it screened a handful of cases. After the indictment of Sean Combs and the announcement that we were suing these claims, the floodgates opened. People who wouldn't otherwise, for a variety of reasons, are now stepping forward and to pursue justice. But no, most of these people are scared. They fear backlash in their communities. They fear backlash in their own families. They are afraid of retaliation from the perpetrators and their associates. They are rightly afraid for their own personal safety. I expect that through this process, many powerful people will be exposed. Many dirty secrets will be revealed. We know what we are potentially up against. And as is always the case in situations like this, when a celebrity is involved, people can be downright mean and nasty. You would be shocked at the fans will go, no matter the evidence, to the contrary, to defend celebrities they love. I mean, there's a reason for this word fans.
Only Rihanna.
I've personally already been threatened multiple times on social media.
I bet.
When I agreed to pursue this, I expected as much. This isn't my first.
This is not about you, Tony.
Victims who step forward to have their voices heard should not be subjected to that kind of conduct. They should not be targeted. I want to say this, and I want to be clear about it. Although we are vetting each call as stringently as we can, I always start with a mindset that I believe victims. I believe victims because I understand the tremendous courage it takes to step forward. So if you're watching this, if you're out there and you have been victimized, you are not alone. There is a great strength in numbers. You can seek redress. You can obtain justice. We can help you, and we will help you. That being said, as stated, we are vetting every call that we receive. We've had to turn away some. For each, we ask for corroboration. For each, we ask for the identity of witnesses. We also have collected pictures, videos, texts. We check venues. We check dates. We want to corroborate that the claims being made have legitimacy and merit. We have on staff now a former detective from the Major Offenders Unit of Houston Police Department who is helping us vet each claim. We're using common sense. We're being stringent because, as I said, these are not easy cases. They're very tough. The process is hard, and in some cases, the process is very lengthy. These cases are hard to prove. Many times, it's a victim's word against the alleged perpetrator. Each of these victims will no doubt be publicly attacked by the alleged perpetrators, and in some cases, the general public. The feckless and cowardly keyboard warriors love to attack. We know what we're up against. We did not enter this fray blindly. I wish it was my last such fray. I wish this type of behavior wasn't so pervasive. But it is what it is, so we will press on. As I said, our law firms have been retained by 120 individuals at this point to pursue cases in civil court against Sean Diddy Combs.
Please hit the like. Please hit the like. I'm still here. Please hit the like. Please. 60 males and 60 females who have joined us to pursue these claims as plaintiffs. In this group, 62% identify as African American, 30% are white, and the remainder Hispanic or Asian. The victims are from Is y'all hitting the like?
States. The majority are from California, New York, Georgia.
Hello? I'll mute this shit.
On the ages of these victims.
Hit the like.
When we talk about the ages of the victims when the conduct occurred, it's shocking. Our youngest victim at the time of the occurrence was 9 years old. We have an individual who was 14 years old. We have one who was 15. 25 of the 120 individuals who are plaintiffs in these cases were minors at the time of the acts complained of. The time frame of the acts complained of is very wide. The conduct at issue spans from the years 1991 all the way till this year, 2024. If you wonder why there are so many alleged victims, their answer. We're talking about more than 25 years of this type of conduct. Now, although most of the victims who have stepped forward were victimized after 2015, this has been going on for a very long time. Now, when you think about the fact that some of this conduct occurred 25 years ago, and you wonder why would it take somebody so long to step forward, I want to remind you that many states in the United States have recognized that it's very difficult for a victim to step forward and to make these types of allegations. Something very terrible has happened to them. I'll use New York, the state of New York, as an example. The state of New York has specific statutes in place that revive, that are even claims that would typically be not able to be brought, that revive such claims, and they can be brought even 25 to 30 years later. Because there's a recognition there in New York and California and other states that it's very difficult for a victim to come forward. And I would respectfully suggest the only reason many of these people are forward is they see other victims coming forward.
Right. Can you get back to the 9-year-old, please?
That, hey, I'll be the only one. And I expect more victims will come forward. You know, there's an old saying that says, a lie has great speed, but truth has endurance. The acts complained of, these cases that we're going to file, occurred primarily in New York, either Manhattan or the Hamptons, or occurred in California, primarily in Los Angeles, or in Florida, primarily in Miami. Most of these events and incidents occurred at parties, typically after parties, or album release parties, New Year's Eve parties, 4th of July parties, something they call the puppy party, the all-white party, although several of these events occurred at auditions. Many times, especially young people wanting to break into the industry were coerced into this type of conduct in the promise of being made a star, or in the promise of having Sean Combs listening to their tape, or even let them read for Sean Combs. You should know that some of this behavior occurred at well-known venues in New York City. Some of this behavior occurred at private residences of people that we all know. Some of this behavior occurred at hotels that we're familiar with. You should know that more than 55% of the victims filed reports, reported this conduct to either the authorities, that is the police, or to hospitals. We're in the process of collecting with our team assistants medical records.
Y'all hitting the light?
That were made to the authorities, and I've already said that some of
those
in this group did in fact talk to the FBI. You should know that several of the individuals, and when I say several, I mean many, who did in fact seek medical treatment were drug tested, and drugs were found in their system, weird drugs that you probably never heard of. One in particular that continues to pop up is a drug called xylazine, or trank, which on our research is known as a horse tranquilizer.
Oh my God!
Now, there's been a lot of reports that we're filing a class action. This is not a class action. Class action is when one or two people file a case on behalf of a group of people. That's not this. These cases will be individual cases. Each case will live and die on its own merit.
I don't care that y'all can see my computer.
Individually, one plaintiff against whoever the defendants were.
I don't watch corn on here, so we're good.
Each case may be filed.
Look away.
One venue like California, another case may be filed in New York. One case may sue just Sean Combs, but other people. One case may sue a range of people. I would expect most of them to be filed, as I said, in New York and Los Angeles. Now, I know this. Many of you came here thinking or hoping, or perhaps believing, that I may start naming names.
Yes.
That day will come.
Oh my God. Oh.
The day will come when we will name names other than Sean Combs, and there's a lot of names.
Do it today.
It's a long list already.
Give us a little piece.
Of course, I already know who some of these individuals are, but because of the nature of this case,
Who is the
we're
9-year-old?
going to make damn sure that we're right before we do that.
Oh, so y'all might not be right.
But the names, one of them, assuming that our investigators confirm and corroborate what we've been told, are names that will shock you.
Hurry up, Mr. White Man.
These are individual cases. There are indeed other perpetrators involved. They will be revealed when that particular individual case is ready to be filed. They already know who they are. And I'm talking here about not just the cowardly but complicit bystanders. That is, those people that we know watched this behavior occur and did nothing. And I'm talking people that participated, encouraged it, egged it on. They know who they are.
My Trump now.
I call them the facilitators of foul play, willing participants in foul conduct. As we identify them, each will be part of this case as defendants. These defendants will not only include individuals, but will also include corporate entities who ultimately profited off of this culture and behavior. I'm looking at banks, pharmaceutical companies, hotels. We know that many of these individuals were paid cash. We know that many of these individuals involved, whether they were the ones being assaulted and abused, or witnessing other people being assaulted and abused, and then paid and threatened and told to leave. Typically paid 10 grand in cash and told to leave. And then threatened as they were leaving. So in addition to Sean Combs, you should know the defendants in these cases we're going to file will include anyone, of course, who engaged in the assault,
Name them.
exploitation, anyone who participated in such in any way, anyone who encouraged or facilitated this conduct, anyone who was in the room and watched it happen but made no effort to stop it,
Carisha.
any venue or venue owner who was aware of what was going on but failed to stop it.
The 4040
Any
Club.
individual or entity who knew about the conduct and benefited from it but did nothing to report it or stop it.
Clive Davis.
And any individual or entity who covered it up or helped cover it up. These know who they are.
Carisha.
Should just come forward now. I would imagine, as we speak here, there are a myriad of people who are very nervous. You can't hide skeletons in the closet forever.
You ain't about to trick people to come
I would
forward.
expect there are many people out right now who are desperately searching their memories as they delete their texts and data.
Usher. Pink.
Now, although these are, in fact, individual cases, there is a common theme, an MO, if you will. Typically, the victim is lured into a situation where he or she is given a drink. Typically, that drink, reported by these victims, is apparently laced with something. Once that drink takes effect, the perpetrators perform all kinds of sexual acts on the victims.
Oh my God.
Many times passing him or her around as other people watch and enjoy the show, and then leave the victim ashamed, confused, injured, and wondering what happened.
We know all this.
When the victim reaches out, he or she is told not to say anything.
Correct.
Sometimes there are threats of all physical violence,
Correct.
financial repercussions,
Correct.
or bodily harm.
Wow.
The claims we intend to bring will include the following: violent sexual assault or rape, sexual abuse, facilitated sex with a controlled substance,
Oh my God.
false imprisonment, compelling prostitution, sexual misconduct, dissemination of video recordings, false imprisonment,
Yep, Trey Songz too, y'all.
sexual abuse of minors.
Which one of y'all?
Given the large volume of cases, and given our other docket obligations, and given the fact that we want to be sure when we file these cases that they are fully vetted, I expect we'll start filing these cases against Sean Combs and other perpetrators within the next 30 days. Now, it's rare, sexual abuse, sexual exploitation, this type of activity is pervasive in our society, and it's rare we get a chance where we can really focus on this as a country and really focus on this about how pervasive this is and what we as collectively can do about it. So I thought I'd take this opportunity before I go into some of the individual cases and talk about some of the individual claims being made and so you'll get a sense of what this 120 people group looks like individually. I want to bring forward
You ain't bring that on?
Carrie Paul. She's a national victim advocate who helps victims who have been victimized by this type of conduct. And she has some important words, and I hope you'll pay close attention. I think it's important that you hear from her.
Hello.
Hey.
I'm Terry Paul,
Hurry up.
National Victim Advocate.
Thank you. Hey, girl.
It's not easy for any survivor to come forward. Our culture doesn't believe survivors. It names and questions them. Instead of showing support, many choose to enable abusers. The media runs stories asking why it took so long for survivors to come forward, instead of asking what barriers exist. We also don't equip law enforcement with the ability to handle sexual assault crimes. Lack of funding translates to lack of training. We have officers in the field that don't know what to say to a rape victim. And also
Hello?
alarming amount of backlog.
Please hit the like. You doing it?
Prosecutors are focused on what they can prove in a case, and if so, how to do that at time of trial. Advocates and staff are stretched thin with growing caseloads in the criminal justice system. Most people don't know how the criminal justice works in general.
I'm not being aggressive. That's the bear. I love you guys.
There isn't enough staff or
I asked
resources
nicely.
to
Please
adequately
hit the
explain
like.
the entire process.
That's that damn bear.
Survivor.
That's
Our
Krishan,
culture works
baby.
against victims and survivors every day, and abusers know this. Abusers work themselves into positions of power, building a public image that is trusted and financially large enough to make people look away. Abusers are unfortunately very skilled at power and control, the foundation of abuse. They seek victims who are vulnerable, such as children, their employees, and their intimate partners, all who see a different version than the public does, all who rely on the abuser in some way. And for those that do come forward and aren't believed, face questions like, are you sure it happened that way? Were you drinking? What were you wearing? All of this creates an environment that enables abusers to continue abusing them and future victims. To the survivors that have come forward despite not being believed at some point in time, your courage is like nothing we have seen before. We thank you for coming forward for yourself and all survivors.
Where they at?
And lastly, I want all survivors that are watching this to know we believe you and we support you. Thank you.
I want you now to hear from my co-counsel, Andrew Van Arsdale. We've created a sexual abuse hotline. I want him to visit with us just a few moments about how that works and the kind of volume of calls we've received.
Thank you, Tony. Like Tony said, my name is Andrew Van Arsdale. I'm the managing partner of ABA Law Group. We have offices in California, Montana, and North Carolina. To build off of what you just so well said, it's very hard to come forward. And given what we've experienced the past 10 days, is really unprecedented in my career at least. We represent thousands of survivors of abuse. And never, ever in a 10 period have we seen over 3,000 people come forward, where we've confirmed and decided to investigate and represent 120 people, while we're continuing to work through another 100 plus cases to prove them up, to validate what had happened here, and to hold those that are responsible accountable. And so like Tony said, we've set this up, 1-800-200-7474. I have a team of people standing by literally. If you know that this happened to someone and you have information about it, please contact us. If this happened to you, come forward. There's attorney-client privilege here. What you tell us is in confidence. Yes, we'll have to go out and build your case, but we will protect you. And the other thing that I want to say is,
Not protect.
practice of this, again, it's unprecedented. Over 30 plus years of the same sort of events happening, people thrust into the circle reportedly, and horrible things happening to them as well. And from talking to these people that have come forward these past 10 days, I can tell you unequivocally that because the federal government did what it needed to do and indicted this man, that they put him in jail and the judge kept him in jail, they tell me directly, this validates my feelings. For so long, I thought it was my fault. What is it about me that put myself in that scenario? What was I wearing at the time? What did I do to be subjected to such horrific treatment as these people that I was trying to trust? But we know now, it was not your fault. You were victimized by a group of powerful people that operated for 30 plus years, taking advantage of their wealth and the power that they held within the music industry. So again, to every single person that has come forward and contacted our office over the past 10 days, if you or someone you know suffered the same sort of treatment, please contact us at the number behind me and we will help you. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you, Tasha, for the sticker. I love you too.
This issue is in the United States and frankly internationally, that we have reputable people here that want to provide kind of information. I think victims need to hear, witnesses need to hear, the public needs to hear. Let me introduce to you now Olivia Rivers from the Texas Association Against Sexual Assault, and let her visit with you a few moments about these types of cases.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone.
Hi.
My name is Olivia Rivers.
Hey,
I
girl.
just served my 6th year as the board chair for the Texas Association.
Yes.
I'm also the CEO for the Bridge Over Troubled Waters, which is a local rape crisis center here in the Houston area. So thank you for being here as we address these heinous crimes.
Oh my God, you're
Sexual
welcome.
assault is not just a crime of violence against the body. It's an assault on the very essence of human dignity and safety.
Preach.
It shatters lives, it destroys confidence, and all too often, it leaves survivors feeling like they are voiceless, isolated, and vulnerable. The reality for many survivors is that coming forward to report their assault is one of the most difficult and daunting tasks that they will ever have to do. And for some, it may take days, months, or even years to speak up, if they ever. The reasons for this have been mentioned, but include the fear of being disbelieved, being blamed or judged, and, of course, retaliation. The trauma of the assault itself being compounded by the trauma of the criminal justice process, where survivors must relive their experience in order to seek justice. And these feelings and fears are further exacerbated when the allegations are against prominent figures in the entertainment industry or Hollywood. Cases involving powerful figures attract significant media attention, which can deter victims from coming forward due to their public exposure or scrutiny. The intense focus on these high-profile cases can make survivors feel that their personal lives are being put under a microscope, causing further emotional distress. These allegations mentioned here today, as reported, reflect deep, troubling claims that deserve thorough investigation, and no individual, regardless of their stature, is above the law or public accountability. Sadly, the statistics paint a very disturbing picture. According to the National Sexual Violence Resource Center, 1 in 3 women and 1 in 6 men will experience some form of sexual violence in their lifetime. In the U.S. alone, there are approximately 463,000 victims of rape or sexual assault every year, and these numbers barely scratch the surface, as sexual violence remains one of the most underreported crimes. But the numbers that follow tell an even more troubling story. Only about 23% of sexual assaults are reported to law enforcement. Of those, just 5% lead to an arrest, and even fewer, less than 1% of reported cases, ever result in a conviction, which is a devastating gap between the crime and the justice that survivors deserve. I want to briefly focus on our state here in Texas. According to the Texas Association Against Sexual Assault, 6.3 million Texans, men and women, will experience some form of violence. That's every 2 minutes, someone is sexually assaulted, meaning during the course of this press conference, around 60 individuals will forever be changed by this violence. And those are just a few of the victims. Obviously, this is unacceptable. We can't allow this cycle of silence and inaction to continue.
Thank you, Stephanie, for the super sticker. Thank you, sweetie.
Empowered to come forward where they are met with empathy and respect, support, not skepticism and blame. We have to ensure that our legal system is equipped to handle these cases with the seriousness they deserve, and that survivors have access to the resources that they need beyond the legal courtroom. We have to address the root causes of epidemic: prevention, awareness, and fostering environments where respect, consent, and safety are non-negotiable values. Additionally, support for survivors has to be holistic. They have to have access to counseling, medical, legal advocacy, and of course, community support, regardless of whether they choose to report or not. To every survivor who has come forward, your bravery is an inspiration. To those who are still grappling with their decision, know that you are not alone, that your voice matters. Your story matters. We see you, we believe you, and we are committed to fighting for a future where sexual violence is no longer tolerated and where justice is not the exception, but the standard. Thank you.
Thank you. Don't stop. I like you. Oh, God, it's back.
Basically, real quickly before we close here, about some specific instances without disclosing the victim's name. You probably know that depending on the age of the victim,
Thank you, Miss Ward.
you can file these cases, these individual cases, Jane Doe or John Doe. Each state is different in that respect. Typically, there is a balancing test, like the public's right to know the name of the victim and plaintiff versus the confidentiality and the safety of the plaintiff. So we'll have to struggle with that with each one of these cases. Our intention, of course, is to, like we always do, file these cases under a pseudonym until the court tells us otherwise. But let me share with you a few, just kind of give you a sense.
Hurry up.
Of the cases and the kind of instances that people are calling and reporting that we are trying to corroborate, vet, and these are the ones that we've already corroborated, vetted, and collected evidence on. One individual who was 22 years at the time, she was assaulted, said that the typical MO at one of these parties that have been widely discussed in the press was that when you were handed a drink, and now we know that the drink is laced with something, if you refused to drink it, you were kicked out of the party. Now, let that sink in for a minute.
No.
I mean, the admission to this party was that you had to drink the chosen drink that was handed to you.
Who said this?
That in most cases, I would say 90% of the cases, these individuals were drugged with some sort of drug. That was kind of the MO. Another instance, this individual who was 9 years old at the time was taken to an audition in New York City with Bad Boy Records. Other boys were there to audition as well. All of them were trying to land a record deal. All of them were minors. This individual was sexually abused, allegedly by Sean Combs and several other people at the studio in the promise to both his parents and to him himself of getting a record deal. Another instance, another minor, told allegedly by Sean Combs that he would make him a star, but needed to visit with him in private about it, away from his parents. Once they were in a private area, allegedly Mr. Combs made the victim perform oral sex upon him. Another incident, an individual 15 years old at the time, flown to New York City to attend a party, was drugged, and then taken into a private room, allegedly in the presence of Mr. Combs, where this female individual, minor, was raped, and the other individuals took turns raping her. Another individual, 26, at the time of the occurrence, was picked up allegedly by Mr. Combs and several other people in a black SUV from the airport, was given one drink in the SUV, and then literally woke up the next day not knowing what had happened, but with pain and damage to both her vagina and her anus, where she then went to the hospital. She was in her underwear and her shoes. Another instance, an individual, this time not a minor, attended a group dinner, allegedly with Sean Combs in Miami. She wasn't drinking because she was pregnant, but whatever she drank at the table, apparently, at least according to her, was laced with something. She blacked out, and she woke up in the same bed, again, allegedly, with Mr. Combs, in his mansion in Miami. Her vagina and her anus were torn and sore. And I could go on. I mean, literally.
Please don't. Please
you're
don't.
sensing a theme here.
Oh,
It's
God.
the same theme. And it all involves some sort of drug. One instance, an individual who was 20 years old at the time was saw her on the street, asked to attend a party in a hotel. She was flattered, went to the party, was given one drink and doesn't remember anything else. Ultimately, was so messed up, went to the hospital where they found cocaine and this horse tranquilizer in her blood system. I'm going to give you a quote from a man who told us over the phone about his experience and all the things that happened to him. He says allegedly at the hands of Sean Diddy Combs and his friends in the effort to try to sign a record deal. This was kind of what he was told he would have to do. His is, had he not been in power, I feel like I could have been something great. I quit the industry because of what Sean Combs did to me. And that's really what it comes down to. We are pursuing this, asking you to support this effort, to encourage witnesses and victims to come forward and bring your evidence so we can continue to break down this wall of silence and we can continue to have these stories heard. This is the beginning of what I hope to be a national dialogue. This type of sexual assault, sexual abuse, and sexual exploitation should never happen in the United States or anywhere else. This should have never been allowed to go on for so long. This conduct has created a mass of individuals who are injured, scared, and scarred. If you're one of those individuals, we ask you to reach out. If not to us, to someone you trust. If you're someone who witnessed any of these events, we ask you to reach out. Your name can remain confidential. With that, I'll take a few questions, not many, maybe two, but if you have a question, I'll be pleased to try to answer it.
How many minors are making accusations in total, and are the feds aware of the allegations of minors in the case?
I don't know what the feds are aware of, okay, but I do know it's 25 out of this 120. I will to that point. We welcome the FBI, any authority who wants to come to us, and we're going to make that available to these victims because I think that's important. My suspicion is, based on talking with these folks, is that the FBI is just not aware of these people. The FBI has talked to some of these folks, and I'm going to try to encourage the victims to, in fact, talk to the FBI because I think they have some very important things to say.
Tony, were all of the children auditioning because they were musicians, or were any of them kids and employees or anything like that?
All seeking either TV or some sort of music career with promises of, we're going to make you a star. Instead, basically did things to them such that they don't want to have anything to do with the entertainment industry ever. All right, guys. Thank you very much for your attention. We're going to go now. Thank you. Do you anticipate any Houston cases? Any filed here?
Wow.
Any plans here? But I don't anticipate filing.
Okay, y'all. Wow. Okay, I'm going to end this, and then we're going to come right back, okay? So I'm going to end this, and then we'll be right back, all right? We'll be right back.